Hi, everyone. This is the Love on the Spot podcast. I'm your host, Miriam, and this is my beautiful partner, Andre. And what started as a bit of mucking around and just seeing if we could even make a podcast has turned into a bit of a concept, which I hope you'll enjoy. So we've come up with the idea, Love on the Spot, because the name of this game is to ask each other mostly deep and meaningful, sometimes funny questions, but in real life. No prep, no planning, no rehearsed answers. We don't know if the question might go deeper than we expect because this is real life. It's around being able to be present and connected with our partners, with our friends, and also to have that reflective ability ourselves as we work through life's challenges and moments. And so we hope you enjoy this discussion. This is a couple who's still figuring it out, who's having fun in the process. This is Love on the Spot. Okay, Andre, I believe you're asking the first question.
All right, Miriam Wood. So I've just picked a couple out of, Chris Williamson's list again of questions to ask your partner. So my first one, good example could be what happened the other day. However, it's when we get out of alignment with each other, what can we do to get back quickly?
Oh, I love on the spot. Okay. For me, I've got an instinct where I want to try and work through things on the spot and try and resolve it. And that comes from a place of not wanting to have noise sort of become a problem and make something bigger than what it is. So some of the things that I try to do to get back into alignment would be checking in. Hey, is everything okay? Is there something on your mind? Especially if I'm feeling something is going on for you, but you haven't said it yet. Depending on the moment, maybe you can tell the story of what happened the other day. It's better coming from you. Taking a couple of deep breaths and just being like, all right, well, is there something else I can do? And just go and chill out. Maybe you, and if it happened in a work situation, give the person some space to just have a moment and come back to it. But I like to, whether this is the right thing, try and resolve it so we can move on and get an understanding. I like to be able to hear what's your perspective is and what's going on for you. I'd like to hear what you think. And if you could share the story of what happened, I think that'd be really interesting.
Right. So what day was that? What day is it today?
Sunday.
It was Sunday afternoon. I
Yeah.
think we got a little bit out of alignment, and it was really nobody to blame on at that point in time.
Yeah.
I had been knocking around home for most of the day, and I think I was doing just odd houseworky sort of
Mm.
jobs. And come about 5 o'clock in the evening, I was feeling a bit flat, a bit tired, and I just posted up on the lounge, watched a movie, and, and then we did have plans to do a podcast, and I wasn't really about it at that point in time.
Mm.
And I'm sure that came across in my demeanor because I didn't actually say that. I sort of so kind of got a bit quiet and cozy on the lounge, and um, how did we get back? Well, I think I was like, oh, Miriam, I've been here all day and I've been done all this stuff and I don't really feel like doing a podcast at the moment.
Mm.
But when that came out of my mouth, I was like, none of that is actually a problem for me. I've had a lovely day here with the dogs, and what actually sort of became of that sort of little jummy spit was just realizing that my tiredness was, or my mood was just basically put on myself from sitting in the house all day.
Mm.
I said to Miriam, what however it came about, we had a bit of a cuddle on the lounge,
Mm.
PG
We had a
cuddle,
chat, and then
a
I think
chat.
I crawled into your lap and gave you a cuddle.
It's exactly what happened. I'm like, oh, actually, what I needed was
Mm.
a bit of human connection. I'd been sort
Mm.
of spending my day with the dogs and not speaking a word except maybe gentle disciplines when they were being unpleasant. um,
Yeah.
but then I think we get in the car and went for a walk and
Yeah. Yeah.
came back and there's a dog in the background. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and then we that was just a mood shift. I think it was my mood was not based in reality. It was just based in sort of, I suppose, loneliness or being on my own for the day. And it put me in a
Mm.
bit of a flat and tired mood. And I
Mm.
think the way that we sort of came back into alignment was just to actually stop for a minute and talk about it, which we
Mm.
did,
Mm.
reconnect
Mm.
with some affection, contact, and a change of environment really quickly brought everything back together, and we came home and had a lovely, fun chat. It was so the
Yeah.
bottom line of my how we get out of alignment and what can we do. I think sometimes I sort of stew on it on my own, and I get in a bit of a funk, and then you do a very good job of catching my vibe. You say what's why are you cranky? Not in those words, but what's got you?
Yeah. What's going
And
on?
yeah, sure. I believe it or not, saying what's got you in a funk does
Mm.
often lift a bit of a weight off your shoulders, and then the immediate pivot from being in a mood to doing things that light up my soul.
Yeah.
Big cuddle from your girlfriend and a walk outside in the sun. Um,
Mm.
that's how we got back on track very, very fast.
Mm.
Um, yes,
Yeah.
that's a fairly uh, easy example, sure. I think that was just a mood that I put
Yeah.
myself in for no real reason.
Mm. Well, I don't think it happens very often. Yeah,
No,
we've worked through some challenging moments in our relationship, but in terms of like day to day, week to week, I feel like we've got a really harmonious flow. It helps that we like to sleep at a similar time, get up at a similar time, we exercise, we eat the same food. We're talking and connecting a lot. We actually have, for anyone watching this, you might either roll your eyes or find this cute. We do instinctively, we just do this thing sometimes where we hug each other and go, ah, don't mind us while we co-regulate, and make a bit of a joke out of it. But also, if you're going to go real sciencey about it, just the act of breathing together and connecting and getting really present to that sometimes supersedes all the words or the defenses or the explanations that you can come up with. So I think getting out of here and into
yeah,
this. And what I really liked about what you did when we were cuddling on the couch, after we'd had a chat, and like the chat wasn't great, really. It wasn't until we had a cuddle that we got back into alignment. But I was just so impressed that you caught it. Like you went, oh, actually, what I needed was a cuddle, and I've sort of been on my own, or like you actually articulated, this is what's going on in my body, and this is the feeling, and this is what I needed. Now you could have sort of stewed in it and just been like, no, fuck you, I'm going to stand by this thing. And you would have deprived yourself of a really awesome hug, and then a walk. I wouldn't have been able to fix it, so that line between withdrawing for a moment, which we talked about on the first episode, withdrawing for a moment and working through something, but then being able to move through that arc of, oh, this is what's going on, this is what I need. Sometimes we don't know, I think, until we verbalize it, or sometimes we're just in the moment. But I actually thought that was really awesome. I was like, wow, like you caught it and you figured out what you needed. And it's not about
yeah,
someone being right or fair or justified or whatever, but just, hey, if we can get to the root cause or the heart of the issue, oh, that
The,
That is
the
how
the
you get back into
misalignment
alignment.
wasn't between us. It was
Yeah.
my own thing that I got out of alignment
Yeah.
with myself, and I
Yeah.
had to recognize that because I was, yeah, came on and I was like, oh, I don't want to do that. That's not what I feel like doing. Blah blah blah. But actually,
Yeah.
we'd planned it. I'd felt like doing it all day, and then I sat on the lounge. And was like, no, this is not what I want to do. And that was a side effect of the day that I spent. I think
Mm.
it was pottering and doing odd jobs
Yeah. Yeah.
alone with no company. And
Mm.
a hug really fixed it. And
Yeah.
I recognized that at the time that I was probably just bored for most of the day.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It sounds so simple, doesn't it? Like, but if people aren't treating, even if you're not in a relationship, I think if you're not recognizing the funk that you can get into and be like, oh, I've sort of been having these negative thoughts or just feeling a bit shit for a while or lacking oomph, and you don't actually like either verbalize it or know what to do about it, then it can become a state of
Mm. State
being
of mind. Yes.
over time. I also really respect about you that you apologize. Yes, that's nice to receive, but that you call it out and you own it and you repair.
Mm.
And that's really important. Again, whether you're in a friendship or a relationship or a workplace scenario, it doesn't need to be made a fuss of, just to call it, own it, repair. So important. So thank you. Um,
Yeah.
I I keep finding, so Chris Williamson, if you ever watch this, I keep finding gold on this list. So thank you for putting this together. One of the
I
questions.
think I lost you there for a second.
Oh, am I back?
You're back now.
Yeah, fabulous. Um, so the question that I was just scrolling over, what's something that you're proud of you don't talk about much?
Hmm. I am proud. I think like a lot of men, for a lot of my adult life, you go through it thinking, I'm right, I'm okay, I don't need any help. I'll just sort of do it my way, and
Mm,
that's the way it is, right? My way or the highway, I suppose. Not realizing that there's all sorts of background noise and trauma and
mm,
stuff that you bring from, the rest of your whole life, I guess.
mm,
Um, so taking and making an effort to recognize some of that, spend time doing therapy and things that I enjoy, and
mm.
more recently, well, more recently, but not very recently, a bit of yoga and
Yeah.
relaxation things and getting back into old hobbies that I'd given up. Um, Doing
Mm,
things that I really enjoy to pass my time.
mm.
Focusing on the beautiful stuff that makes me happy, and that's had such an impact on my well-being, mentally and physically, I think.
Mm,
So I'm proud of myself for that. That's a
yeah.
really nice one. It's
Mm,
it's recent as of the last couple of years, I suppose. And there's been some pretty big events in that sort of time. So yeah, I think that's the big thing I'd say I'm proud of. And then there's other, I finished uni after all these years and that sort of stuff. But I think the
mm,
the catching myself and sort of making efforts to go through some big important changes has been my thing that
yeah.
I'm proud of. I feel like I'm a
Mm,
different person to what I was, a number of years ago,
yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
really nice to feel.
Yeah. Well,
Mm.
at the time of this recording, you're a few days away from your birthday, and I asked you the other night, What have been some reflections or things that you're proud of in the past year as well? And from my perspective, it's like your journey, I feel like, has been like that in the almost year since we've been together. I in a different episode, you talked about having had anxiety in the past, but I can barely see that person. And we are not defined by conditions we experience. We all go through really tough times, but I just feel like I've just seen you expand and get taller and stronger in and of yourself, and that difference that prioritizing your well-being has made, because it sets us up, it gives us a framework and a foundation to deal with those tough moments, and to sustain our energy. So I'm glad you're proud of that, because I've seen that change in you too.
Yes, it's a big one.
Mm.
I love it. It feels good. It's really
It
good.
does. It does. And I like doing yoga with you too. So I'm glad you enjoy it.
Mm,
All
is it
right,
my
over to
turn?
you. Yeah.
Well, yeah, just as you say, I like doing yoga with you.
Mm.
What's one activity that we do separately that you would rather do together?
um, there's there's no immediate craving in my mind. I know I've probably got a higher interest and capacity for lots of social things than you. I love that we have parties here and entertain. So I know when you want to be around people and do all of that, you're on. But I also respect, we get lit up by different things. I suppose if if I really had to, I'd be like, oh, of course it'd be nice for you to come out and do this and that with me. But I think I have to honestly say I'm really happy with our balance.
Mm,
And I love that you do the things and the activities that are meaningful for you. Something that we've discussed about things we'd like to do this year, and it's still on my list, so you're not getting out of it, is pickleball and
yes.
salsa dancing. We both went to a pickleball experience, I guess you'd call it, a few months ago. And we turned up at this lovely community court down in Kalala Bay near Jervis Bay. And we were handed a bat and sort of thrust onto the court. I'm so not a sport person. I've
Thank you,
never really
Claire.
played
Yeah.
sport. Yeah, thanks, Claire. I actually really don't have any base from having played tennis. So I'm just a bit of a muggle on the pickleball court. But it was so fun. So fun learning something new. And I can see why people like it. And salsa dancing, I just think would be really fun. We kind of, do little kitchen moves every now and then. So I'm looking forward to doing some of those sort of
Some
things
of that.
together. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Mine are just really sort of basic things that we sometimes do together, but I love to do them together. And
Mm.
we go through a sort of phases, I suppose, where it happens and then it stops and then it happens again. It's just things like, I love going to the gym with you. Maybe not to the
Oh.
boring old gym, but the normal, when we have done those gym class type things together, I quite enjoy that.
Oh, I didn't know.
I like being in the same yoga class as you,
Yeah. Because you're
and I
checking me
like it.
out.
We're checking you out, yeah, seeing how to do it properly. Yeah, and then throwing you on the back of the motorbike and going for a scoot. They're little
Yeah,
things that we do together occasionally, but
yeah.
I crave more. I like that a lot.
Mm, I didn't know that.
Oh,
Thank
really?
you.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
It's good fun.
yeah, yeah. And I can see there's a beautiful sunset in the background happening here. We went for a sunset motorbike ride the other night, and it was just beautiful. So I'm looking forward to a few more of those experiences. Ah, I love all this learning. All right, got another question here. Um, mm, mm, mm. Oh, there's so many in here. All right, hang on a second. Does this apply? Um, what are the sacrifices you're most scared of that we may need to make for our future?
What do you mean? I don't
I
know.
know.
Sacrifices.
I don't know. Is it a shit
Uh,
question?
I don't think it's a shit
Pick
question,
another
but
card.
well, I don't think there's, looking to the future, what's grand
Mm,
sacrifices would we be required to make at this point in time?
yeah.
I don't see any. I'm
Yeah.
not thinking. No, I don't know. No.
All right.
Next.
Pick another question, Miriam. Okie
Next
dokie
question.
then. um, what's something you've never told me because you didn't want to change how I see you?
Well, I think at one point in time there were things I probably didn't want to tell you that would potentially change the way you saw me, and things that
Mm,
I've actually never told anybody ever besides you.
mm, yeah.
Yeah, so there's definitely some big stuff, but they've all there's no 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 longer a untold
Mm,
thing really. We can get into those
yeah.
another
Another
time because
episode.
they're all pretty big. But I
Yeah.
was terrified of telling you about some of that stuff.
Mm,
And one, yeah, I won't dwell on that right now, but
mm,
yes, at one point in time, I was I was very apprehensive of that being brought to light,
mm.
and you held me with grace and openness, and I really appreciated that.
I get emotional thinking about that.
Yeah.
That's, and I must say, I feel yeah, I'm very much an open book. But I know, depending on the people that we're with, even if there's something in our past or a character trait that actually we shouldn't feel ashamed of or worried about, the people in the environment that we're in can make a difference. Even if the thing itself is not a problem, if you're around people that are unkind or quick to judge or gossipy, it could be your work colleagues, it could be the fact that your partner's friends are like, not amazing. Like there can be a lot of things that people walk around holding and have never told people. Like I hear
Mm,
this as a coach all the time. I was just talking to someone yesterday who found out a bunch of stuff after her parents died that they carried to their grave. So I feel for people that feel like they
mm,
can't be themselves, that
yeah.
are ultimately worried about not being accepted for who they are. Um, I think, of all the mistakes or things that, at my time again, what I do or do not, that also creates our character. And there's that, you might know the word I'm looking for, that Japanese art of repairing broken pieces with
Kintsugi, I
gold.
think it is.
Thank
Kintsugi.
you. Um, I think that's really beautiful. And I think they create vases or do all sorts of things. Anyway, I love the idea that we're not looking for perfection and that
Mm,
actually there is beauty in the cracked or the broken, and the idea of these gold threads of compassion and love and forgiveness and respect, um, that can only sometimes come once we've walked a really challenging path.
mm.
And I'd much rather know someone's soul than just sort of a perfect version, because it allows us to be ourselves as
I
well.
also, yeah, I also think some of those things that you may be holding in and not wanting to share, they need to be witnessed, and
Yeah.
releasing that burden from your own soul, I suppose, and having it spoken,
Mm,
really is freeing in a way.
yeah.
There was well, I suppose you could walk around knowing that you should say things and holding that in, and that is
Mm,
just going to cause you turmoil within, I think. Well,
yeah.
not I think, I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I think as a coach or a therapist, we hear all sorts of different things. And you usually, there's also all sorts of different things that we hear, but most of the time it boils down to, will I be considered lovable and worthy and enough. So is what I've been through or done or seen or the mistake or how I erred, the fear that it would be so great that they would, so awful, that they would be rejected. I think that's something, again, probably for another episode, but it sort of breaks my heart a bit when I hear all sorts of things from people in coaching sessions. I'm like, I almost want to say, most people do that. It's actually not that bad. You're human, you're learning, and you're still enough and perfect and lovable as you are, even though you make mistakes. Um, Big one. So thank you for accepting me and seeing me as I am. And I'm glad you feel the same.
Do very much so.
Mm, mm,
Deep dive on that another time.
absolutely. Any more questions on your list?
Can we go have dinner yet?
Yeah, we've got some roast lamb. All right, enough of this sentimental stuff. That's it for now. I love how these episodes just wrap up when it comes to dinner. And thank you all for sticking around and watching this. I hope this gives you some resources or ideas to be able to talk to your partner. We referenced Chris Williamson's questions. They're easy to download from his website. In future episodes, we've also got Esther Perel's cards to dive into as well. So we'll be here for the next few years asking each other questions.
Just a few.
Thanks, everyone.
I love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.